Show. Well, the Doug Rising Show. Well, the Doug Rising Show. I'm Doug Rice. I cut off the fucking band. Get your asses up. How you doing? How you doing? I'm here. I just decided to show up. 8:53 in the morning over here. Coming up on noon over there. You thought you was gonna sneak into work without getting some act right, huh? Is that what you thought? Huh? Now you at lunch. Some of you been at work smiling. I can smell the smile. Some of you been at work grinning and cheesing, easing the consciousness of caucasity. Well, get your narrow asses up and go to lunch. I'm going to give you an hour of checkism from right to left and maybe back again. And those of you thought you was going to sneak in at work there at 9, I know you in the parking lot. Sit there. Text your boss. Tell him you're going to be running a little late. Got to take some corrective measures. You almost made it in without me, huh? Yeah, I wasn't there for the drive-in. I wasn't there for breakfast. But I'm here now. Good morning. How you doing? Thursday, the 18th of August, 2022. This is the Doug Rice Show. You know what we do here. And is it not getting worse? Is it not getting more pronounced, the caucasity? Let me tell you what's happening in Florida. Let me tell you why I am so warm this morning. Governor Ron DeSantis has decided that the educational department of his state will no longer teach the truth. Oh my goodness, what's the man doing? He is having these teachers teach lies and deception, easing the minds of individuals that are not in love with the facts. Oh my, and the watered downness of our story. 4% of enslaved people wound up on American shores. He starts the story from 1776, not from 1619. And that's a convenient few hundred and so years to erase your part, your ancestors' part. They act like George and Thomas Jefferson just showed up in 1776. You know, we ain't got shit to do with what happened between 1619 and 1776. We're not even going to tell our children in schools. Well, let me tell you something there, Ron. Me and folks like me are going to be happy to inform our children when they come home of those missing elements required to make the story complete. In order to give that story its proper frame, in order to include you motherfuckers who did all the shit you've done to Negroes for so long. Hell no! DeSantis, get over yourselves. For years, you've taught that you took a big part in the slave trade. For years, you started in 1619 and even beyond that. Suddenly, your children are too weak-minded to hear their ancestors' part in the atrocities committed against Negroes in this country since slavery. And you got the nerve to want to erase the story? What are you going to do about Jim Crow, Ron DeSantis? What are you going to do about Reconstruction? Certainly you'll tell that story. Come on now. How much of the story do you want excised from the memory of the masses? What kind of fuckery is this, man? Ain't nobody going to fall for this, man. Hey, Ron! Ain't nobody going to fall for this. No one will believe the watered-down version you deliver so expertly to the minds of these children who come home to woke parents. Oh, no, Ron. Wokeness, that's the thing now. It exposes weak men like you You fucks walking around this country scared of your own shadows. I think just because they are black. But I digress. No! Nobody. We are not going to erase history, not for a moment. And I tell you, you need to look at some of the reports of what this man has in store, not just for the state of Florida, but for the entire country if he gets his way. Now, you need to understand me, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. We got a vote in Wyoming where 577,000 people live. And a fraction of that number has put in power, or the possibility of power, an individual who foments Donald Trumpisms like nobody's business and is exhilarated. She's energized. This woman thinks that she is representative of the 300 million people that don't perhaps espouse to her view of how the world should be. But you take this simple-minded, low-rent, low-brow creature, a white nationalist in the making, a crazed look on her face, now with the possibility of representing a fraction of the motherfuckers that live in this country, like she represents millions. She represents a number small enough to fit in a concert called Woodstock. And now she's breathing in deep. She thinks that her attitude permeates the entire country to a degree that she will affect its direction. God help Negroes everywhere. Good morning. All right, so that's the morning opener. We'll call that the opener. You folks, please tap the screen, share the live, go to Negro Central and make sure you can freely express yourself on platforms controlled FUBU. I like that. You know. Yes, folks. Yeah, take a look at Negro Central. 2 platforms I need you to take a look at, okay? Brewtube.org and bubook.org. BE, the letter U, book.org. Make your associative platform profiles and join that community. Okay. You know the damn drill. How y'all doing this morning? Y'all all right? All right? I mean, it's Thursday. It's August. Hot. A little warm, you know. They're acting like a fool. They got Donald Trump cold but won't arrest him. It's caucasity run amok. All I can encourage is you Negroes steer clear of the caucasity. It is caustically crowds everyone into a fucking little room and tells them they're vanishing. I don't know what the fuck their deal is. But let me tell you what we are watching. It will be the anchor topic of today's narrative. And of course, we then move to the second portion of this presentation. Thank you for all your comments. Detrina is our moderator. She will escort you from the live if you cannot hold your tongue. Trust me, it will be tested today if you are an oppressor. All right, so first topic. First thing we're going to address. Detrina brought this up, the producer of this show, not just the moderator, but Detrina brought this up, and the topic will be the rebirth of a nation. Yes, what we as Negroes in this penal colony built for us, by us, are enduring is something we've called the rebirth of a nation. Now, let me give you a little insight, a little backstory. Birth of a nation. Birth of a nation. No, no, not the movie that we all might associate it with. No, not Nat Turner. But the birth of a nation in 1915. And I encourage all Hebrews, all Negroes to look this particular bit of history up. The rebirth of a nation, though the topic today comes from The Birth of a Nation, a movie shown in 1915 in the White House. And I do believe that Wilson saw that. I think that was either Wilson, I believe so. Now, what this did was it stirred up and fomented the right-wing white nationalism that we are experiencing today. The Birth of a Nation highlighted the Ku Klux Klan and its ascension, its rebirth, its rise to power and influence, something that we are experiencing still today, and I mean that shit. The Klan runs the United States of America, at least its governmental systems, and all we have to do is look at the folks in power to find out where they are from and what generation they call from. Brothers and sisters, we know who runs this country, but now the rebirth of a nation seems to be getting out of the hands of the Klan. Seems to be a new birth of ignorance, of white grievance, of privilege, of disassociative ability to discern truth from lie. The rebirth of this nation will certainly mean the murder, if you will, of Negroes. I can't imagine them rising to the point they're about to rise without death being our future. I can't. What they want to do is first kill the memory of how we got here, minimize our presence and all that it involves. And in their murderous rage against one another, that will soon act out. Afterwards, what? Let's say Donald Trump comes to power, Ron DeSantis comes to power, I don't know, Marjorie Taylor Greene comes to power. I don't know, Paul Gosar comes to power. Let's continue, shall we? I mean, these are people that hold an idea, a Europeanized utopia that does not include Negroes, the rebirth of a nation without the sheets. So they get power, they maintain power. Let's say that as a result of their getting power, there is a civil war. The shots start flying, the bodies start falling. You know, a crescendo, if allowed to continue, comes upon this surface of this country. And after the last shot, what for Negroes? What do you think's in store for us as the rebirth of a nation takes place, live and in color, right in front of us all? For those of us that refuse to pick up the mantle and defend this mess, what do you think our future is? Well, what's the future of the people they intend to fight? What are they telling each other that they will do to one another shortly? The rebirth of a nation is what we are experiencing. It is a violent occurrence. It's a dangerous time. They're telegraphing the terror that they want to put upon one another, and when complete, they will look to us as either the cause or the catalyst of their monstrous acts. Negroes prepare to leave. Now, let me tell you, what is the origin of their fear? How can you establish the origin of what it is they fear so much? If you want to know what they fear, look at what they project and how it begins. Folks, listen, we live in a culture created by caucasity, and that culture is steeped in fear. And that fear is projected by accusation. And that accusation tells the story of what it is that truly terrifies them. And it all starts with a rape culture. The culture that they've fomented within this society, driven by white male privilege. It's a culture that is now taking over the United Snakes and putting them in the path of most certain destruction. And how do they project it? Real simple. They accuse us of being the most feared and rapey people on the planet, when in fact, that's not true. It's how they procreate. It's how they keep their numbers up. It's what's kept their numbers down, the suppression of what it is they want to do. And the origin of that fear, that projection, that fear of Negroes is actually a fear within themselves that they no longer can hold back. And they no longer want to hold back. And this is why they've removed the safety mechanisms built into this society for 50 years that now permit them to do the things they want to do unfettered. The origin of their fear, projection, that rape culture, that fear that they wish to act on. It's an interesting dichotomy, is it not? And as we sit, we live in a culture, a vampiric culture that takes and takes. Energy, they take culture, they take all they can find to fill their empty vessels. Look at what surrounds you, what built this country, a group of lazy individuals, incapable of doing their own work, and so enslaved a class, robbed a land, did everything dishonestly, painting purity in its wake. And how it manifests itself. And I've come up with, I think a pretty good way of putting it. And folks, listen carefully. Pale males are the problem. Oh yeah! Dangerous, lethal to your health. A cancerous group of individuals. Pale males, that's right, folks, not just a cigarette. But you consider the numbers. Look at the details. See what they're doing. Listen, I'm looking at them frantic and mad at the world. Their position seems threatened. I don't understand it, but they seem to have a problem. And everywhere they go, they bring this problem with them. This problem, it's a disingenuous anger that stems from, I don't know, missing something. Pale males. Pale males are the problem. Remember, just a little play on words. I thought I might throw that in there. All right. Pale males. I said it, right? I think I thread the needle. Well, now I need to kind of connect that in. I need everyone to take a look at the sun. Take a look at the fucking sun, folks. Now, I'm not telling you to stare at the sun. I'm telling you, take notice of what the sun has become over the last few years. And I challenge anyone to say that that circumstance from yellow to white has not somehow had an effect on those that are melanin free. And the scriptures seem to echo what it is I am saying. The sun is tearing them up. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 13 and 14. I advise you look it up. I was going to have Alexa quote it, but I don't do that. You look it up. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 13.
I've added Isaiah chapter 47, verse 13 to your shopping list.
That's interesting. So, yeah, look at the sun. Here's what I'm saying. I've noticed there must be a direct correlation with the sun's emitted rays as they course 93 miles toward the earth, taking about 9 minutes to get here, and the fact that the discoloration is so prominent. I'm 56 years old. I look up the sun, I don't recognize it. The sun was yellow when I was a boy. A yellow sun, and I got to tell you something, our oppressors were a little less excitable. The sun was yellow while they were teaching the truth in schools for years, children playing in it, nobody running through the school trying to shoot people up, nobody in their feelings about getting fired from a job, no men shaking their hands at the sky, seemingly, no sun being somehow recreated elsewhere. All these things seem to revolve around what's in the sky shining its light on men's weak minds and are affected negatively, doing horrible things. Who in their right mind travels 200 miles to shoot 10 black people just because they're black? That to me tells me it's the sun. We got people doing crazy shit. And I just want you to look at the sun. Oh, and when you look at the sun, tell me something. This is kind of a little side note for me. There's something called the secret of the clouds. I want to know about that shit. I don't know what it is, but I know it's important. I know it's important. I know that it's intricately involved with what's about to occur, because I know it says that Jesus or Yeshua comes with the clouds. There's something within the clouds. There's things that can be hidden within the clouds. Things are happening around this earth. I'm also going to point to a YouTube channel, Mr. MBB333. Always Earthwatch, watching what's happening. And what do we got last? Melanin. Melanin is what's up. I think if we infuse people with melanin, they may get over their racist leanings. Melanin might be what the fuck is missing. That's my last topic. All right, we're going to move on. 9:14 in the morning. This is the Doug Rice Show. Now, you know the normal way that I do things. I think of a few things to think about. I talk about those things. And then I would peruse the black news with Hebrews. I'm still doing that. But let me tell you where I've changed just a little bit. I notice every time I search term black news, I am spoon-fed what they think I should receive as black news. Well, no longer. I'm still doing the black news, but I'll go ahead and make the best decision I can to talk about, read about, research what concerns who they call black in this country, Negroes, us. Let me tell you what I found. All right, so first things first, looked up news here. Minnesota residents furious over anti-racist layoff plan for white teachers. Says it's un-American. What is going on is they are laying off teachers who are white based on race and what they might teach in the school. This is them eating themselves. This is the cannibalistic nature of America now. They are not getting along on any front. They are ready to shoot at each other at the drop of a hat. This is not good. I just thought I'd read that. I know that's probably not good enough. But can white people play black Americans music? Yeah, who the fuck asked that question? That's an actual news story. Can white people play black American music? Yesterday, 9:25. If you gotta ask, maybe not. If you gotta ask if you can play our music, I gotta tell you, you can play it, but the lyrics, when it comes to using the N-word, keep that shit to your fucking self. Moving on. All right, what else? I already talked about DeSantis downplaying U.S.'s role. Virginia post office closes its doors after concerns of whites and colored signage. Yesterday, 12-something in the afternoon. So, for years, this Virginia post office has had signs over the doors saying whites and colored, and they're just now closing its doors. Still grinning? I fucking hope not. Moving on. Wow. We know lead exposure in racially segregated housing lowers reading scores among black children. Study. They studied that. So, lead exposure, segregated housing, low rent shit that they corralled us into affected the reading ability and scores of our children. And you're about to walk in with a big old fucking how you doing into that office. I don't give a fuck if you're late. That's something. African Americans and the other N-word. Nationalism. No. You out your mind. First, on the books, you're not a citizen on the books. Yes, you're not a books. You're 3/5 a man. That's official. There's no getting around that. So just slow down on that other N-word. I mean, we're not gonna pile into you for using it, but I'd rather not. All right, continuing. Don't want to see that. Don't know where that came from. Maybe I should stick with black news. I don't know. This was interesting. A woman who was locked up in a patrol car decided to get out of her cuffs and grab an AR-15 and start shooting it from inside the police car. What do you think she looked like? Because it wasn't one of us. Yeah, moving on. I thought that was interesting that they would allow that. Continuing, are race-based teacher layoffs in Minnesota legal? Obviously they are, because they're laying them the fuck off. A man allegedly shoots wife with crossbow while she slept on sofa. I posted that on Twitter. Take a look at that specimen. First known case of human to animal monkeypox transmission reported. What the fuck are you doing to animals that you would get monkeypox? What the fuck are you doing? You know, they say monkeypox is a result of some weird shit that individuals are doing to one another. Now, if that's the case and you're doing it to animals too, well, you get what the fuck you deserve. I saw a guy, his nose was rotting off. There's no telling where he put that nose. We've got to stop the monkeypox transmission. Moving on. I'll stop. Okay. Just saying. This is weird. The pastor of this church, I posted, pastor goes viral for calling his congregation broke, busted, and disgusted for failing to buy him a new watch. This is a pastor in a church we go to every Sunday. He wanted his congregation to give until he could afford a new watch. They didn't do it. So during the sermon, he called them broke, busted, and disgusted. Still grinning? Because that's what they set up to lead us in this penal colony. All right, moving on. Moving on. Hey. Couple arrested after being caught having sex on amusement park ride. Now, I did share this, but I took notice. There's no photos of this couple that they caught having sex outside in front of everybody on a fucking ride in front of children and everybody. Not single photo. What does that tell you? You know what the fuck it tells you. Moving on. I'll stop. Let's continue, baby. Police investigating and focusing on a black separatist group in Georgia. I did not know that. I didn't know that. Anybody that is not down with the system, they investigate. Well, I know that there's some issue, but it doesn't take much. Doesn't take much. And there's no outrage. There's no talk about FBI overreach when investigating the black separatist group. They're not complaining about the search warrants and the validity of the judge. I don't see them up in arms. They're not talking about defunding the FBI. They're investigating hey, let's defund the FBI. They're investigating black separatist groups. No? I didn't think so. Moving on. Hey, Serena, Miss Williams, I don't give a fuck that you're retiring. I don't even understand it. Why is it a big newsworthy moment that Serena... Listen, we don't follow tennis and all that shit. You did that amongst those. Let them give a damn. Keep it out of my news feed. I don't care that you retired. Millionaire. Good. Do your thing. I don't follow tennis. So, you know, that you are no longer playing tennis. Perfect. Moving on. Oh, this is always a pleasure. Slur-spewing man allegedly threatening black New Yorkers with a knife, then gets knocked out cold. Doesn't that feel good? That does feel good. I like that. Just a guy yesterday decided he was going to just, don't do that. Don't wave a knife in front of us and call us the N-word. We're liable to do crazy things. Anyway, moving on. I thought that was fun. I did. Wendy Williams repeatedly forgot her show was canceled. Execs say it was not pretty. So what did she do? Did she show up ready to go and wondering where her makeup is, why the set's been broken down? She's that fucked up. Y'all kept this woman coked up within an inch of her life for years to fill your pockets, buy your houses and cars. Now she's washed. She can't do shit. She can't talk about shit. She can't make you money. And you got this poor woman showing up at the set wondering why shit ain't ready to go. And you done canceled her show. And you got nerve to report this. Somebody ought to be skinned alive for that. You know, somebody's relaxing in the home that Wendy built right now. That's sad shit, ain't it? That's some sad shit right there. Wow. Wow. Hey! Kid Cootie suffered a stroke while in rehab. Would you sneak in rehab? Stop! Don't tell me what? You suffered a stroke because you went clean? What happened? What did you sneak in? How did you get it in there? More importantly, what the fuck is wrong with? Oh, you believe you human now? Kitty, you believe it? Do you believe it? I hope you saw something. I hope you saw something. Take care of yourself, boy. And you in rehab, suffering a stroke. Don't play like it's them. No. You brought something in. You shouldn't have done that. Could have been the shock, too, of the sobriety. Look, insensitive? Yeah, motherfuckers. It's the Doug Rice Show. Goddamn. Black man left paralyzed after Texas cop slammed into concrete. Lawsuit ensues. My goodness. An hour ago. We still getting slammed in concrete. Now, look, folks, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, did you hear it all? I picked some good shit, right? I mean, I know you need to get in. You're only 25 minutes late and lunch is almost over. Fucking relax. I want you to go to work with the right frame of goddamned mind. Where do you think you are? What do you think is happening? Where do you think this is all leading? Where do you think this is all leading? Do you think that you're going to carry your happy ass to work for too much longer? There are problems brewing in this country, and they can't stop it. They can't stop it, and I'm going to tell you something. They're scared. They're terrified. I'm looking at the GOP turn into a white nationalist organization. I'm looking at them armed to the teeth. I'm looking at the folks reporting it, complaining about it, not prepared to do a damn thing. Now, if that's the recipe that we've got brewing in this country, Negroes need to prepare. These people are not playing. The folks that are making a try don't like you on any level. And all of the accomplishments I see Negroes accomplishing these days, taking people to court, winning office, just progressing. It's like rubbing salt in their respective wounds. And it's only going to help catapult the white caucasity to the top, the froth of it. It's not going to be pretty. I just want you prepared for when it gets real ugly, because it's going to get real ugly real fast. And those same people that I'm keeping you from working with right now, they're not going to be your friends anymore. They're not going to look at you the same. They're not going to regard you the same. And I just want you prepared for that circumstance. That's all. Now, I'm done. Okay, you can go to work. Oh! But before you do, before you wrap it up and try to run to see little Susie and tell her good goddamn morning, you just hold up. Now, it's Thursday. They're voting. They're doing all kind of shit. They are feeling themselves, baby. They're taking in all the air they can take in. There's no reason for you to help them along. You go in that goddamn office, you keep your head about you, your wits about you, your head on a goddamn swivel. You coming back from lunch, you don't know what has been discussed. You don't know what's on anybody's goddamn mind. And it's time you acted like it. And so, as you head into work, back to work, wherever the fuck you are going, if you are amongst the masses and their asses, I need you to protect yourself, Negroes. There's only one way to do it. Just one. You find yourself gliding to the door. You feel that air hit you in the face. You try to remember how the fuck you got here. You remember the news that we read, the topics that we covered. You go in that office, grab that goddamn handle before you slide in. Get that goddamn grin off your faces. You may go now.